Belric.
Weirdly enough, I would prefer for that Akai to stay where it is in Vival's hands.
Yeah, just keep it there. This pick, the red 4, is going to tell us a lot on where Team Vitality is going, and then Falcons will kind of respond to this. So if Vitality wants to, they pick up their mid lane right now.
No Eve.
Yeah, Eve.
Gord is still up.
Gord.
But the draft that they've started with doesn't spell Gord. How would you feel as a Gord with these three?
You wouldn't want it, man. No smokes, because there's too much to be the aggressor on Gordon. Once your Mystic Gush is gone or ended early,
Joseph, the Sora alone.
The Sora alone. This is great. Lilia, you got some black shoes. You got that built-in Purify. You can pop off enough damage. We've seen how much damage Lilia can do in the early game. This is already a great start for Vitality's last 2 picks.
And by holding out for the jungle pick, the quote-unquote jungle pick till red 5, they're committing to the bit. They're not letting Team Falcons ID know and decide what happens now. The girls from Vega have to say, that's it. We're showing you our jungle. We're showing you our roam. This doesn't happen, by the way. Not very often.
This
mid-trio gthis gets fulfilled in the last picks.
That second half. That's why the first 3 picks were so interesting. You know, in the pattern that, whoa, with the Hilda. So if this was Dangerous Grass, if this was the DG, I would have expected the Hilda.
But in Flying Clouds, I still get it.
It still works.
Yeah. Even on the back foot, folks, being in Flying Clouds and playing a Hilda is a little bit of a blessing, even when you're losing, because you're able to Flying Clouds into the back line, get into a bush, punch back. Harley is the jungler of choice.
That is not what I was expecting. The Harley, once dominant through the previous meta before that patch came out, he still picked up, but just not as much.
It's the burst that they needed.
Yeah.
Look at a majority of the lineup. None of them can take a life bar from 100 to 0. Harley does exactly that. This is a very strong mid-game power spike team that Team Falcons have gotten themselves.
Yeah, now this last pick for Vitality. This, once again, crucial. Down to 1 game. This pick will round out this composition.
This is the prestige. This shows us exactly what Coach KCS has been cooking. Where does this Akai go? Ooh. It's a Cho. So it is confirmed a Jungle Akai.
It's a Jungle Akai. You get the Cho. Imagine, it's only been picked 3 times so far for MWI.
It's Vitality versus Falcons Indonesia. The great Indonesian rivalry, but it's been one-sided up until this point. Falcons Indonesia have finally shown that they can beat Team Vitality, but that was just one map. Can they win the series? Can they crush their rivals' key, move forward in the tournament, and potentially claim a championship? Let's find out. It's Team Vitality versus Falcons Indonesia. Mirko, Eterna, take it away.
We are living in a world where the defending champions don't even get a chance to defend their throne. Ladies and gentlemen, 1 game away from elimination for both Team Falcons Indonesia and Team Vitality Indonesia. And I feel like for Team Falcons, after being absent last year, this is the statement that they are building. The statement that they're saying, hey, 2nd place, it's enough.
Yeah. I really like the responses, by the way, from both these teams coming into it in the drafts. Falcons ID those last 2 picks. Fantastic. The Harley pick and then the insta-deny from the counter of the Harley, the Hilda, takes it away. Leaving Vitality with either the Khalid or the Cho to try to deal with this Harley. And you can already see Vivian here start to screen out where this Harley is. And that's all Vivian can do later on as well. It's all about Vivian trying to delay Chef. So far, doing a good job with the Jikundo and the Concussive Blast. Vivian takes the orange buff away early on against Sev. Oh no, Raimundo couldn't see where Vivian was. And it's such a big win early against a Harley.
That's huge. That's huge with the changes of the battlefield adjustment.
God.
How much gold you get from the buffs alone, that increase of 20%. The loss of that at that is also going to put Team Falcons in a position to think, you know, hey, where are we going to get that gold elsewhere? City as well is also doing a fine job as opening the map. That's a beautiful thing when you pick up something like the Lilia. You can utilize your glooms to open up the map, give vision and information over the team. So it's not just solely on Vivian. That pressure slightly alleviated.
You can see the pressure constantly here being placed down by Vivian. It's always about that. You know what? I like the Akai pick from last game, but this screams Vivian, the Cho, right? She can make so many plays. She can be everywhere all at once to cover up any of the missing links that Vitality need to, step up over. The mid-prio already gotten Vivo onto the neutral objective. No orange, but for Sev, so she's still level 3. This is free for Vitality. Turtle number 1, uncontested, just conceded by Falcons, and not a single way to look for a trade. Without level 4, Sev can't even go into bottom lane to take Chell down.
Which is why she's resorting to invading the enemy jungle. She's trying to get
Vivian, though.
that lizard away, but she's gonna be unable to. Okay, she gets it in the end, but of course Vivian would be able to, stall that timing by just a bit, stall that rotation by just a bit. But look at them go once again.
Big skirmish. Vivo just pops in a heavy spin. Zev has already utilized deadly magic, so Vivo can actually just constantly go and put in the pressure, try to invade the jungle. She's got to respect Falcons with their damage though. So it will just be the disengage for Vitality. They'll be happy with the first turtle and they'll play their game again.
It's so uncanny, right? Because we think that because of how fast the rotations of the Harley is and how fast the wave clear, as well as, the creep clearing is, seeing Zev at level 4 compared to the Akai, who was nerfed quite a bit, by the way, at level 5, it's just something that you don't see every day. But Team Vitality, they know the scopes, they know the limits and how to execute it properly, and this is the situation that we are in right now. As they go for another invade onto Team Falcons, they're not allowing Zev a moment of breath and a respite.
It's the patience as well from Vivian, not to just use that way the dragon straight up onto the first girl she sees. Removing his pin down, the Shifting Skies takes her away from the kick. Way the dragon onto Livy. The SOD is accurate. Forces Cini with the black shoes now. Vivo, no heavy spin. It's an all-in as Fumi Echo is able to dive in with the final slash, and now it's going to be Livy with the Crimson Beacon. Cini's already gotten rid of Sev. That's both the jungglers down, but look at Vivian and Fumi Echo working in tandem together to get those resets for Fumi Echo. Now again, it's a vengeance over on Livy. Vivian with a dive as well. Fumi Echo wants to dive. The Purified there. The Lantern Flare to bring Fumi Echo inside again. But it's the dive straight up to Cini picking up a kill. And then the wave shoved in as the turtle will spawn. Perfectly timed for Vivo to respawn back in the game.
Essentially, it's a 2-for-3 trade, a 1-for-1 trade earlier on as Fumi Echo gets that kill, but she has to give over her life for it. It looks like Team Vitality are quick on the second turtle of the game. Vival is still ahead by just a bit. Actually, Zev's caught up, so the setup is there. Let's see the retaliation coming in from Team Falcons.
Bree, the retaliation is a trade up top. Remember the main carry last game, Liv, getting all the free farm and then building up to be an absolute menace in the late game. And so far, so good for Liv. Done a good job against Chell in that lane. Rotates up top, stays away from these fights, and constantly just builds on gold, farm. Let's see if she can do what she did in Game 2.
And I wonder if Team Vitality want to adjust to the mistakes from Game number 2. Do they want to go for more onto Liv? But it looks like Zev.
That's a lot of damage. A flicker on as well. Vivi gets away!
How?
With a sliver of health. That's literally on the brink. And Cini with Fumi Echo takes the main win con of Falcons ID. Down up top. Ramundo on the hill. They're now going to be caught with a heavy spin. Free resets for the vengeance of Fumi Echo. Ramundo very low, taken out by Fumi Echo. I never want to see Vivian on the Panda ever again. I just want to see her on Cho.
And we haven't seen her on the show so far here at MWI, so it's a breath of fresh air for sure, giving her a hero that's a lot more active around the map, allowing her to make a lot more plays, and that's how she was able to secure the title in the first place. Mother of Tanks, being one of the backbones of Team Vitality in these team fights and these skirmishes, and there she goes again!
Almost a solo kill against a tank. It's a solo kill for Vivian! On the Cho against the Harley. Now she'll die, but she already did what she needed to. How is she doing this on a Cho?
So worth. What a worth trade. A roamer for Zev. And I bet you Zev is going to be caught quite behind of the Akai again. Wow.
What?
Aggressive Team Vitality here. A different change of pace for them. Absolutely not the safe Team Vitality that we saw from game number 1 and game number 2. Here, active from the get-go. They get a structure down bot and they completely and straight away collapse onto the final turtle of the game. This is perfect turtle for the defending champions here in game number 3.
There was an attempt from Zev. on the Harley, who's been sokoliled by Vivian on Cho. Oh my god. The Harley should have an advantage by now at this point of the game, but now without the advantage, and then you take a glance over Vitality's composition, you look at their composition here, and there's no one to target for Zev. The Arlet's too tanky. The Kai for sure.
Yep.
That's another kick on Zev. Vivian's reading her like a book.
Zev gets out.
The trick was already used. Vivil's just gonna walk her down, and look who's coming.
Oh,
Fumieko
no.
with the cut in the final slash. He's forced back to the Panda. Vivil will happily collect that kill. Chell in the mid lane with the Blazing Wind, and also the BMI back baits them all into the rest of the team. And all this time used by Cine up top to zone live from the farm. Fumieko with constant pressure, not letting them back away for free. They're shutting everything down this time around.
A 4,000 gold lead. Counting for Team Vitality up until this point in time, and they are collapsing once again. You can see the dive coming in from Vivian, but Team Falcons are quick to read it. Heavy spin utilized already. They are going to get a structure. They don't get a pick, they get a structure. And I think Shell is going to get another one up top.
It looks like it's going to be two. No heavy spin, but it's worth it, man. No retaliation from Falcons at all. Tier 2 up top, Tier 1 in mid falling. And look at Vivol. Trying to take it away. The purple buff gets taken out by Cine. Violet has to use the Shifting Skies, and again, oh, Vivian! Wait, the dragon kicks her away! Zev cannot move. The final slash finds Sue, and now Vivol is going to collapse under turret. Violet's going to be chain CC'd. It's Fumieko with the dive. Vivian wants a bit more, but cannot find it. They're going to go for the Tier 2 in mid, and I hope they call it a day.
It's only been 9 minutes. It's only been 9 minutes, and they're this deep into enemy territory. They've taken structures left and right like it's been nothing. Vivian constantly being able to look for these opportunities from a counter engage off of Violet's initiation. And it worked. And the person that she gets out of everyone there was Zev again. Zev is not having the greatest of times right now. 0-4-2. One level below of Vival. It's going to be very difficult for them to go for the contest on the objectives. And once again, they're looking for some revenge onto Vivian. And she just recalls on them.
When a choke can recall on the enemy jungle like that, and everything gets used with Vivian not feeling like it's a threat at all, that's a problem right there. Oh god.
She's stickered.
Zev, you don't have deadly magic. If Vivian gets a kick on you,
I think Vivian knows.
I don't think she knows. She would have already walked in the bush and looked for the kick, but Zev desperately wants to hold on to this position.
Uh-oh.
Throw it down below, already taken down. Vivian again just corralling over. Zev has a great position here, but Vivil's gonna walk up. And she finds her. Vivian doesn't have to flicker, so Zev should be fine. Maybe not. Maybe Vivian just wants to chase her to the end of the map. Hello? She's forcing Zev out of the fight. Violet with the Shifting Skies in the mid lane. Now it's going to be a 4v4 as the heavy spin gets used up by Vivo, but he won't be able to find a pin. Spear of Misery. Vivian's still chasing Zev. Up top she goes, running to the other side of the map, and there's no escape. This Cho is relentless on the chase. Finally, Zev gets a chance to recall.
That was a good 30 seconds of just chasing one another down. And Vivian is able to actually, push out that top lane in the process of it. They're buying so much time. Vivian, again, she's not going to get touched here. They take a structure down bot. They're looking for the next structure up top. But even if they don't get the structure up top, that's already on the opposite side of where the Lord is spawning. And that means Team Vitality, once again, has the upper hand when it comes down to the Lord push.
We've seen Falcons ID come back from this kind of situation. Actually, very much the same situation. Zev with the reaction already. As Vivian walks up, Violet though. Caught on the Shifting Skies, the heavy spin as well. The final slash comes around, and Violet's going to be taken very low by the Blues. Taken out by Cine, who claims the unstoppable. Now it's Shell with the BMI forward. One thing's for sure. When Zev sleeps tonight, she's going to see Vivian on Cho in her nightmares. Again, it's Fumi with the stun. Vivian with the kick in the final slash. Just a cherry on top. Vivian gets another kill. The Lantern Flare doesn't deal anything on Vivian. And they're going to strip Falcons ID down to just the crystal.
They took everything. They came in and they took everything. A 10,000 gold lead by the defending champions. It's looking bleak here for Team Falcons. And, you know, going back to what you were talking about earlier on, they were in a similar position as they were there in game number 2. But the difference is, Levy was on the gourd. This time around, Levy's on the Jushin. She doesn't have as much burst damage that she can utilize to the later stage of the game. Perhaps maybe if Levy had the Sky Piercer and she had stacks on it, I do see a world where Team Falcons can go for a comeback. But in this particular scenario, they're only relying on Liv. Vitality only needs to take Liv down.
And for Falcons, they have to get everybody. They have a crazy read here. Oh no, Vivian. Hunting stepped away, the dragon lands and it connects Vivian! Trying to get the kill. It's gonna be Cine with the glooms. Oh, Vivian wants it for herself! A flicker and a Jeet Kundo to take Sev down for the 5th time this game.
And that's the beauty of the Lilia pick. That's why it was so brilliant. Unable to be targeted, but Harley walked in on that herself. And now Zev once again caught out for the 5th time this game. Imagine that, leaving absolutely no trace of respite here for Team Falcons. And the Lord, it's going to be marching here in the mid lane. Ladies and gentlemen, is this the end of Team Falcons Indonesia?
After such a crazy run, losing their first match of the tournament, but then climbing up and improving as they get into knockout stage with a crazy game 1 and 2 performance. Now, it's Vivian with the walk-up. Lancer in front of the Spirit Misery, trying to pin him down, but Raimundo on the other side of the map will get bursted. Shifting skies by Violet, but that was spent for the Echo with the final slash, and now Chell guns them down with the Blazing Duet. Back again, it's going to be Vivian trying to go on Sev. That's the hat trick already, but the Echo still able to survive with the resets on the Vengeance. The base is wide open, and Vitality will crush Falcons ID's key as they move to the semifinals.
After a moment of vulnerability, after a moment of doubt, Team Vitality move forward once again, a step closer to defending what was rightfully theirs to begin with. It looks